Hi, so today I'm doing a little sketch and value practice. This is a simple practice session wherein I am just applying what I learned in my last video, which was about values. I think it's week 2 of me practicing values, and for the reference photo, I have chosen this cast of 2 people in it. I think it's from Unsplash. I'm trying to build my drawing in the sketching stage with the sole purpose of building good proportions. That's the main thing here. You can see I always start with some level of simplification using lines, which is, incredibly helpful for me because curves can be harder to understand them. So lines always make things easier, and judging proportions get a lot more easy when it is about the lines. One thing I immediately hate about the sketch is how off it sits on the page, composition wise. Up until now, I've never paid attention to my composition, my placement of the subject, and then it ends up looking like this, which is my first mistake that is noticeable. So it's equally important to create a well-balanced composition and layout. Along with the composition, there are many other things that I keep forgetting about while I'm deep into my practices. I might have some awareness of certain pointers I want to keep in mind, but they fade away as soon as I get hyper-focused on my drawing. And so I think it's better to have like a list of these things that I want to be aware of throughout the drawing. And the things like working on my proportions until they look correct and only then moving to the values. Otherwise, just keep correcting them. It's especially hard because it gets boring after a certain point, which I think is the reason I tend to just move to the next new thing because it's a lot more attractive to work on. But yeah, of course, proportions have to be good enough for me to move on to the values. Although I think over here they are workable. So things like proportions before values, where even if I have to wait days to start with my values, because a lot of the times my drawings look wrong, and the problem still is in the sketching stage, which is my proportions. So that is definitely something I can work on. I also did a tiny value scale because it had been a long time since I had worked on my values, which is why I wanted to try it on another piece of paper before ruining this sketch I made. Also, I completed the sketch in, I think I took days to complete it. I don't remember anymore. But I definitely made some changes the next day I saw them, because with fresh pair of eyes you're able to spot mistakes easily. So when I started with the values on my drawing, I started by dividing the drawing into light and dark. So the light is already the white of the paper, so we are just preserving that tone for the highlight or the center light, which is the lightest tone. We are not going to add any highlighter or any white color to it on top of the paper. I think it's better to preserve the white of the paper for the lightest tone. The form shadow, the reflected light, and the terminated line are what we are shading in the very first place. Although one thing to keep in mind here is doing it step by step, introducing either darker tones one after the other, keep making it even darker, would have been the ideal way, which is what I wanted to do, which is why I said there are many things I keep forgetting about, and I think I will definitely be adding this to my list of things to keep in mind. Honestly, this practice is not any better than the ones I have done previously. So I guess there have been very small progress if it's been there at all. Although I know a lot more about my observation and patience levels, and I am trying to really work on those too. I also made corrections in the value scale as I thought the tones were not dark enough, which is why I only recorded a bit of it on my phone, just to give an idea, rather than put the whole thing, which could have been a lot more boring, I think. I'm very sorry about the light situation, making my dark values reflect so much light that it almost looks white. And I didn't check it at that time, and I had made a lot of progress in my shading in my drawing by then, so I thought to keep it in my video, although I fix it in the video later. I'm so sorry for any background noise that you can still hear in the final version. I was actually very occupied this week, so I didn't have much time to record my voiceover, so I'm doing it right now, and there are people walking around outside, and I will try my best to edit any background noise that I'm able to. This is my result. I think the shading could use a little more kneaded eraser to even out the tones, although I don't really think there is enough of the range in the majority part of the drawing, so I'm going to take another reference wherein the dark tones and the light tones are well balanced throughout the drawing. Thanks for watching, and hope you have a great day ahead.